Ever get that itch? You know the one I mean? To just ditch the paved roads and take your car on a wild adventure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I do all the time.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing those decked out 4x4s cruising around.
Yeah.
Caked in mud.
Those are awesome.
So it's like pure freedom. So today,
It's freedom for sure.
we're diving deep into a place that could make those off-road dreams a reality.
Oh, cool.
Off-road innovations right here in Winchester, Virginia.
Winchester. That's interesting. You wouldn't necessarily think of a small town as a hub for hardcore off-road customization.
I know, right? But they've been at it since 2006. That's 18 years of specializing in turning regular 4x4s into off-road beasts.
Wow.
They don't just fix things, they transform them.
18 years is a testament to their staying power, for sure.
Mhm.
But what really matters is what they're doing during those years. Let's dig into that. What kind of work makes them stand out?
Well, they cover the basics. Suspension wheels, tires, the works. But they don't just slap on any old parts.
Right.
They're known for their custom work, especially when it comes to suspension. Apparently, they go beyond just lift kits.
Oh, interesting. They really analyze your needs and the terrain you want to conquer.
That's a crucial point. People often think off-roading just means lifting your truck as high as possible.
Yeah.
But it's way more nuanced than that. Different terrains demand different suspension setups. What have you learned about their approach to this?
Well, I found a customer review that really stood out. This guy wanted to build a rock-crawling monster, something that could handle serious articulation and obstacles.
Right.
Off-Road Innovations worked with him to design a long-arm suspension system that's apparently super flexible and durable.
Wow.
He raved about how it handles on the trails.
Long arm suspension. That's interesting. It's not something you see on every off-road build.
There
They
you go.
require more expertise to install and tune correctly.
Yeah.
Suggests a higher level of craftsmanship there. What else caught your eye?
Well, their focus on drive shafts was a bit of a surprise. I mean, I know they're important, but I didn't realize how much they could impact off-road performance. Drive shafts are often overlooked, but they're the unsung heroes of off-roading. Think about it. You're out on a trail, your wheels are flexing, your suspension is working overtime. All that power from the engine has to travel through the drive shaft to reach the wheels.
So if you have a weak or poorly designed drive shaft,
Exactly.
yeah.
It could snap under the pressure, leaving you stranded.
Off-Road Innovations seems to understand that, which is why they specialize in custom drive shaft builds.
Huh.
It's a good indicator that they're thinking about the whole picture, not just the flashy modifications.
I did notice they work with some big names in off-road parts too, like Warn and AEV. Does that mean anything to you?
Absolutely. Warn is legendary for their winches, essential for recovery if you get stuck.
Right.
And AEV, American Expedition Vehicles, they're known for their high-end off-road conversions and builds. Working with those brands suggests they're committed to using quality parts and staying on top of industry trends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're not just about bolting on parts. They're thinking about the whole system and how it works together.
That's pretty reassuring if you're trusting them with your vehicle.
Definitely, off-roading can be tough on vehicles.
Yeah.
You need a shop that understands the stresses involved and can build something that will hold up.
And speaking of trust, I noticed they really push for customer reviews on their website. They even have a section dedicated to testimonials.
Interesting. A lot of businesses shy away from that kind of transparency, especially in specialized fields. What kind of feedback are you seeing?
It's overwhelmingly positive. People praise their expertise, attention to detail, and communication. It's not just generic 5-star ratings either. People are going into specifics about the work they had done, the problems they were facing, and how off-road innovations solved them.
That's the kind of detail you want to see. It's one thing to say great service, but it's another to read about how they diagnosed a tricky drivetrain issue or custom fabricated a suspension component that made all the difference.
Exactly. It gives you a much better sense of their capabilities and approach. It's not just about flashy modifications. It's about solving problems and building vehicles that truly perform.
It sounds like they're striking a good balance between technical expertise and customer service. That's a winning combination in any field, but especially when you're dealing with something as specialized and, let's be honest, as potentially risky as off-roading.
Right. You don't want to be out on the trails miles from civilization and have something critical fail because it wasn't installed or built properly.
Exactly. So we've talked a lot about what Off-Road Innovations does, their experience, their approach, the brands they work with. But what does this all mean for you, the listener? What's the takeaway here?
That's the key question, isn't it? I mean, for someone like me who daydreams about tackling tough trails and exploring the backcountry, this place sounds pretty tempting.
It does, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
seems like they offer a level of customization and expertise that you don't find at your average mechanic shop.
And it's not just about building a hardcore off-road rig. It's about making your vehicle more capable, more versatile, more ready for whatever adventure you have in mind.
Exactly. Imagine being able to take your current vehicle, the one you're comfortable with, and give it the ability to handle dirt roads, rocky trails, maybe even some light rock crawling.
It opens up a whole new world of possibilities, doesn't it? No longer limited to paved roads, you could explore those hidden trails, camp in remote locations, really get off the beaten path.
And that's a powerful feeling. It's about freedom, self-reliance, pushing your boundaries, and experiencing the world from a different perspective.
I'm getting that itch again just thinking about it. But realistically, Off-Road Innovations is located in Winchester, Virginia. What about those of us who aren't exactly local?
That's a fair point. Location is always a factor. But in this day and age, information travels fast. If you're serious about taking your off-roading to the next level, it might be worth reaching out to them regardless of where you live.
You're saying their expertise and reputation might justify a bit of a road trip?
Potentially. You
Yeah.
could always start by browsing their website, checking out their customer reviews, maybe even giving them a call to discuss your needs. You never know, they might be the perfect fit for your off-road dreams.
That's a great point. I think you've convinced me. I'm adding them to my list of must visits. And hey, maybe our listeners will too. Who knows? Maybe we'll even see some of you out on the trail someday. So what's the one thing you'd change about your car to make it more off-road ready? That's something to think about. Until next time, keep exploring and happy adventure.